Good Lord, that is a great big one. Oh my God. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, that is a friggin' giant. Look at this friggin' beast. I don't know, I'm telling you, it's probably 9-pounder. I don't even know what to do at this point except ride around, eat a biscuit, and idle. I'm done today, boys.
Well, here we are, the day after stop number 6 of the FLW Tour on Kentucky Lake. And a familiar face, Jason Lambert. You won it. Not only did you win it, dude, you blew out the tournament.
Are you guys ready to make some history?
Winning margin of victory record for FLW, or on the tour anyway. You cracked 100 pounds. Basically, you did a lot of stuff that you didn't quite do last time you won here. Not to take away from that, but this was a pretty awesome week.
You know, it has been. It actually got a little better on Saturday and Sunday. Didn't really catch that many fish, but every one of them was just big. So, fun couple days, man.
You need, for 100 pounds, you needed 25.5 pounds. Jason Lambert, a 5 bass limit on day 4 Kentucky Lake worth 27 pounds, 3 ounces, 101 pounds, and 9 ounces. The records fall on Championship Sunday. Wow!
You know, it's a neat thing to get that Century Club. That's history. The 28-pound margin of win thing, that's crazy, man. That's fun.
It's a lot of weight. Well, you enjoyed a pizza yesterday.
You are the man.
At your service. We made you get out of bed this morning. Let's go back out and see if we can't catch us maybe an 8-pounder. What do you think?
We can catch some, I think, pretty sure.
Let's do it. This is a spot you kind of caught a couple big ones off this week. I think that 9.2 came off of here.
I actually found this spot. I mean, it's obviously a community hole that a lot of people know about anyway, but the fish I haven't seen them here at all until late Friday afternoon. And then Friday afternoon I come over it and I saw a few down there and I stopped. And I had Willard, Joel, as my co-owner, and he caught like a 311 out of the back. And then, dude, they came up schooling, chasing big gizzard shad. So I never caught a fish here on Friday, but I knew that there were fish here when they came up chasing the gizzards. So I rolled over here Saturday morning, already had a good bag, you know, 19, 20 pounds, and it was immediate. I caught like 2 5s and then the 9, and it was like, wow. You know, of course that day was over.
Yep.
But at that point, I had a decision to make on Sunday. You know, do I start where I started 2 mornings of the tournament already, or do I come over here? So I made the choice to start over here yesterday, and I mean, obviously it turned out to be the right choice. I mean, we crushed on them immediately. Ball game. Nope, didn't miss him. Now it's really over. That's a 5-pounder. I did make one little move yesterday and coiled, you know, one time with like a 6.5 that really pushed us on up over the 100-pound mark. So, yeah, it was neat to find it during the tournament. I mean, last year when I won the Costa event up here, the fish that I used the most in those 3 days, I actually found on Thursday during the tournament. So, you know, and that's one thing I don't think guys do enough of, fishing ledge tournaments. You know, a lot of guys just don't have the confidence in their electronics to just go out and go looking. And, you know, they'll find whatever they find in practice, and then that's what they fish, that's what they stick to. So, the other side of that to me is I do have so much confidence in my electronics that I'll spend as much or more time looking during the actual tournament as I do fishing. So, because these things show up in different places, you know, especially this time of year.
But man, when I rolled through here after you'd already put it up, there was like 5 boats sitting on this thing, you know?
Yeah. You know, and that's part of ledge fishing. I mean, you know, at one time yesterday I had 22 spectator boats with me, and you know, it's just part of it. I mean, people see fishing stuff and people come back. I mean, it's just, you know, it's the old saying my wife hates, it is what it is. I mean, there's nothing you can really do about it. It's part of the game. I mean, I can't say that I wouldn't do it probably, but that's neither here nor there. People do it, and that's just part of it, and you live with it. Ledge fishing is gotten to be more difficult and more difficult and more difficult. Electronics now are so good. Everybody's got such good equipment. Mapping is so good. You know, a lot more cameras involved in our events now. The live deal and everything, which is great for the sport. I mean, it's great publicity for everybody involved, but it also puts a lot more eyes on fishing locations and things like that. And it makes it more difficult every time you come back because, you know, a lot of that stuff I caught them on in 2016 is community holes now. And you know, I guess the one good thing as far as me for this tournament is basically, other than the shallow fish that I caught way down south on Friday, pretty much everything else that I caught them on was community stuff. Right. So I didn't really give a lot away. It's just so hard to find new stuff now, and you just really don't want to give that stuff away unless you just have to.
Well, the thing I think is funny, listening to the spectators following you on Saturday and Sunday, a lot of these guys are like, well, man, I knew about this spot. You know, it's like these guys come out and they expect, you know, these latest and greatest or new, cool, out-of-the-way places.
Right.
But, I mean, these community holes are community holes for a reason. That's where fish get. Some of these is where they get first. So, I mean, it's not that big a surprise. It's just a matter of kind of knowing what you're doing when you get there, too.
Well,
and,
you're right.
You got a little more dialed in than some other folks.
You're exactly right about the community hole thing. I mean, they are community holes for a reason, and they get there every year. You know, the one thing that I've learned on Kentucky Lake, probably more so than anywhere that we fish, is it's almost impossible to depend on 1 or 2 spots for a tournament. I mean, it's very, very seldom. This derby was a little bit different because it was so tough out offshore during practice that so many people went to the bank. Yeah. And, you know, so you had a little bit more breathing room out here on Thursday especially. Friday, after, you know, we caught a couple big bags out, then Friday there were a lot more people out. Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what happens on this lake in the next, say, you know, 5 years. There's a huge spawn last year, obviously, because there's a million 10 and 12 inches. Yeah, there's a lot of little ones. But, you know, there's still big ones, but those big ones have lifespans. And when they're gone, I don't know exactly what this lake's going to be for a while. It's going to be one of those cycles for sure. I just don't know. And lakes go through that. Yeah, you know, all lakes do. It's not a new thing. All lakes do, and you know, you get those peaks and valleys in any fishery. I just don't know how deep the valley is going to be. That's what really concerns me. So, dog even knows it's a community hole. He's trying to run us off. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about, obviously, the scrounger and jerky jay, you did majority of your damage on. Saw you throw a crankbait a little bit. Friday, you caught some on a worm. Like, you definitely mixed it up a little bit, but I find it really interesting that you can get on a spot like this and just keep chunking that same bait. And, I mean, they eat it. You see a lot of guys get up here and they make 10, 15, 30 casts with something that doesn't work. They pick up a drop shot. They pick up a Carolina rig. Is it just you have so much confidence in this bait? That's why you keep throwing it? That's a lot of it. I mean, I've been throwing this thing for a long, long time. And the other part of it is I know what eats it.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of it is just the quantity that I've caught on it, but also the quality. And it's, you know, in these type tournaments, used to you could do the numbers game. You could catch, and you'd end up building a big bag. Kentucky Lake's not that right now.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know that it'll ever be that again. You know, not until something changes significantly. But it's more about that 4+ pound fish thing up here for me right now. And, you know, I don't care if I catch 100 fish a day. You know, if I can weigh 30 and 27
right,
and catch 8 one day and, you know, 12 the next, I'm good with that. But it's a lot of a confidence thing, but it's also just, I know what bites it.
Yeah. You know, a lot of the guys I talked to were, like what you said, there's a lot of smaller fish, but then dang, when you get a good bite, it's like a 4-pounder, you know? So people knew the quality was there, but I don't think anyone ever thought that there would be that type of quality. And back to the, like, you know, number of fish, you caught, what, 10 on the first day, 5 the second day, 8 the third day, and probably a dozen or 15.
Yeah, 15 at the most yesterday.
So it wasn't like you were wearing them out by any means, it's just they're all, oh, come on now.
Bit me right here coming up. They may decide to play with us here in a minute. So there was that lull for, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 minutes. It didn't even get a bite. And then all of a sudden it was just boom. And I caught one 5 casts in a row, and they were all giants.
Say we actually idled this and we saw that there was like 6 fish down there. How long would you give it without them biting till you say, well, better keep on running?
Traditional Kentucky Lake or now?
Well, let's go both situations.
Traditional Kentucky Lake, if I pulled up on them and I made 5 or 6 casts and I didn't get a bite, I'm gone.
Okay.
Because if them fish always in the past, if they were going to bite immediately. And you could try different bait. You know, you could throw the jerky jade, you could throw a crankbait. You know, I don't do a lot of worm fishing out here or jig fishing or anything like that. You know, spoon maybe, or a couple different swim baits or a crankbait. You know, make 8 or 10 casts to test the waters, then I would be gone.
Gotcha.
Nowadays, it's a little different story. Particularly this week, there's just not that many schools of fish out. And the problem with it is, as we saw in this tournament, the good schools of fish are out. You ain't the only one that found them usually.
Yeah.
So you had to spend some time to try to make them eat. I mean, you know, Friday I spent, on a couple different places, I spent 45 minutes trying to get some fish to bite that I saw down there, knew they were bass, and I never could make them bite. So, you know, used to, not long. This week I stayed longer than I traditionally would have, for sure. There's one down there.
I saw you swing in the tournament, you know, you get ones like that bump it. How often will they come back and eat it? Or is it kind of just a one-time deal?
No, they'll come back and eat it. One of those big ones I caught on Saturday off that other spot up there was one of those that swung and missed, and by the time I got the slack taken up, he was on it. A lot of that really depends on how many's down there when they start really getting in that competition for it.
Oh, okay.
But regardless, I always kill it and let it fall back. 2014 we were here, I caught a giant on day 4 that did that. Right at the boat, and I just dropped it right straight back down, and it ate it. Immediate Garmin. Uh-oh.
That one it felt better when it hit it.
That's better. That's better. That's a 3-something.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh.
We got fish flying everywhere.
Uh-oh.
Boom. Sick.
Uh-oh.
Do I have to net a fish for you?
Might want to get a net. It's going to come right up and jump. Ah! It's like a 5, dude.
Nadine.
You know what that means?
Just have to catch another one?
Just have to catch another one. So it don't hurt near as bad to lose a 5-pounder on day 5 either.
Yeah, it's a little more okay. I mean, I know we've written about it a lot and we've talked about it before, but what size of the scrounger head do you like?
This one is a 1 ounce. I mean, it really depends on how deep you're fishing naturally. Okay. But, you know, most everything I caught this week, other than that little shallow school, was 23 to 25. So just the 1 ounce, you can just keep it down a little better. I mean, if there's a lot of current or a lot of wind or something, I'll even throw the 1.25 ounces. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yesterday they were way out on the turn. There we go. That's not a big one either, though.
All right, good.
Well, maybe it's bigger than I thought it was. Nah, it's not.
She's just coming at you real quick?
It's not. I think it's bigger than that one you caught.
Well, it sure is. It sure is.
Oh, my hands are so sore, man.
You poor thing.
Yeah. 2 3/4, something like that.
Still looking on your mama.
Need mama.
See, now would be a good time for things that weigh 101 pounds.
True.
A couple sacks of feed corn.
50-pound bags, that's 2 of them. That's 100 pounds.
How many watermelons do you think?
Probably take 20 or more watermelons.
A good size one.
Yeah, a 5-pound watermelon would be 20. Trolling battery.
Yeah?
How many ducks weigh 100?
Ooh, say they're 7 pounds. 5 to 7 pounds, I guess, depending on.
So 20.
Yeah. How many 1 ounce scrounger heads?
16 times 100, that'd be 1,600 scrounger heads weigh 100 pounds.
Hashtag math.
Hey, this old boy here's an educated redneck. I mean, I'll be completely honest about it. Ever since ICAST last year when they announced this tournament, I mean, 100 pounds has been on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you don't get those opportunities. I mean, gosh, how many 100-pound stringers have there even been caught in the history of bass fishing? You know?
Right.
So it's not, you know, it's awesome to win a tournament. You know, 120 grand, I mean, all that's lovely. Don't get me wrong. I'm not discrediting anything that comes out of it. But that's special, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that, you know, when I'm long and gone, the bass fishing world will still be around and your name is going to be there, 101 pounds. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Big one?
Felt better. Crushed it when I paused it. Don't you do it.
Big one? We need an edit? Good gosh!
Yeah, that's a good one. It's a good one.
The old Cuda brand net will be used.
How about them apples?
How about them apples, Hammer?
The Jason Lambert guide service. That's what's up.
That's a big one.
I can't even see the bait.
If everybody watched live, they got to hear me say big one. That's a big one.
That's about how they should eat it right there.
Oh yeah, that's eating it. I mean, that's a 4+. You know, it's a 5-pound head. That fish is just getting out here. It's beat up, bloody,
skinny.
But that's what it's been about all week, man.
Dude, I mean, what you did here on Kentucky Lake was insane. I'll probably never see anything like it again in my life.
I don't think I'll ever see anything like it again in my life.
It was the coolest thing to watch.
Yeah, it was fun, man.
You're definitely a ledgehammer, man. You proved it again this week.
Glad you got to experience a little of it this morning.
Yeah, thanks for letting me catch one.
Appreciate it, buddy.